Hello everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of the Ahsoka series premiere. The Ahsoka show is finally here. If you can tell by looking at the last couple videos on my channel, I'm super excited. I'm always super excited for the next Star Wars thing, and I've been really looking forward to this. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. She just really embodies like what it means to be a Jedi, even though she didn't actually finish her Jedi training. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. So I wanted to go ahead right up top and say that there's going to be some spoilers here for the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Kind of with these episode reviews, I'm going to run with the assumption that you've seen the episode. So I'm going to jump right into it and say, overall, I think this is a really good start. I also will say, if you have not seen Star Wars Rebels, this does a good job of trying to get you up to speed, but it absolutely helps if you see Star Wars Rebels. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend that you do. It's only 4 seasons, and it's really good. Like, it's some great Star Wars storytelling. You have some great characters. It's set in a great time period in the Star Wars timeline, and it's really, I think, some of the best Star Wars animation you can find out there. Rebels is just a really good show, and I can't recommend it enough. And like I suspected, it kind of seems like Rebels is definitely a big flavor kind of to the Ahsoka show. And I think maybe that messed with the pace a little bit, because like I said, they do a good job of getting you up to speed with some of the characters and things like that. But that's really my big complaint about the first 2 episodes as a whole. I guess I would say more so the first episode, but definitely kind of taking these 2 together. That's really my biggest complaint, is that the pacing's a little weird. It's a little bit slow. I mean, think of all of the characters that they're having to introduce to people who maybe just stick with the live action stuff. Maybe they haven't seen any of the animation. You have Ahsoka and Huyang and Sabine and Ezra and Hera, and even Ryder. Like, all of them are either from Clone Wars or Rebels. And so if you haven't watched any of the animation, you're really only going to know Ahsoka from, 1 episode of The Mandalorian and 1 episode of Book of Boba Fett. And you even look at some of the other featured characters with Morgan Elsbeth and Baylan and Shin. Morgan is only in 1 episode of The Mandalorian, and Baylan and Shin are new characters to this series. So there's a lot of character introductions that you have to kind of balance here. And so I think that's one thing that does drag down the pace, maybe just a little bit. They're just trying to introduce people to these characters and to kind of the dynamics between them. Even though I will say maybe the pacing was a little bit slow, I do think that they set up the rest of the season very well. I'm super excited to see where they take the story from here. One of the things I think was really cool is how they were talking about different galaxies. You know, that's not really something we've kind of dove into in a lot of the Star Wars series or movies or anything. Like, that's really kind of a newer concept, and I think that's really cool. And it makes sense with Ezra and Thrawn being missing. It makes sense for them to be in kind of a unknown, unexplored region or galaxy. And it's really cool how they're kind of building like this super ship to make that journey. I think that's really interesting. I love it when new concepts like that are introduced to Star Wars. It fits in the universe, and it 100% feels like Star Wars, but it's just something new and fresh. There was a couple really good action sequences here. I really liked the kind of opening fight scene with Ahsoka and the assassin droids. I thought that was really well done. And I really liked that lightsaber duel between Sabine and Shin. I thought that was really cool, and it really felt like the lightsabers had weight to them. You know, they felt dangerous, and that's exactly what I want from a lightsaber. And, you know, it makes sense that Ahsoka would take on Sabine and train her. She had some training from Kanan in Rebels when she had the Darksaber. And so it just kind of makes sense for Ahsoka to kind of want to build on that. And I think we start here with Sabine in a really interesting place. It makes sense for her. You still get to see like her personality, but you can tell that she's been struggling both with Ezra being gone and then kind of with her relationship with Ahsoka kind of souring a little bit. And you can tell she's struggling. She feels kind of alone at this point. And I really like kind of the pep talk that she has with Hera and that she has with Huyang. And I really like where we start out with her here. And I'm excited to see kind of where her character continues to develop throughout the series. Mary Elizabeth Winstead from the great state of North Carolina is awesome as Hera. Hera's one of my favorite characters from Rebels. She's really kind of like the mom of the group, and she still kind of has that vibe here, even years later. And they really capture Hera's personality really well here, especially there in the second episode. And again, I'm excited to see more from her. I hope, even though we might be traveling to a new galaxy and everything, I hope we still have more from Hera in this. She's not just in the first couple episodes. And as I mentioned Hera, I also have to mention, I'm honestly surprised at how well Chopper worked in live action. I mean, I love Chopper. He's just a funny, crazy little droid who has an incredibly high kill count in the Rebels series. But I wasn't exactly sure how they would adapt him to live action. I wasn't sure exactly how well it would work. Well, this worked surprisingly well for me. I absolutely loved the little bit we got with Chopper there in the second episode. And I love Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson is just a great actress as a whole. I'm just waiting to see a little bit more of that Ahsoka charm that we know and love. And I guess it makes sense here at the beginning. You know, she's kind of on her own. She's kind of been on her own a little bit, and now she's going back to Sabine. She didn't really want to, although maybe she kind of did. So I understand that, but I'm really hoping we get a little bit more of the Ahsoka charm going forward. And speaking of that, I really hope that we focus a little bit more on Ahsoka as the show goes on, because I mean, it is named after her. That's the name of the show, is Ahsoka. And right now, it kind of seems to be leaning a little bit more toward like a Rebels season 5, which, again, I get it. I love those characters. However, with her name being the name of the show, I do hope as we go a little bit further, we focus a little bit more on Ahsoka. David Tennant as Huyang is great. I love his inclusion in this so far. It makes sense, and I really like his fit alongside both the story and the characters. Ray Stevenson is really good in this. We haven't gotten to see a ton from him yet, but from what we have seen, I'm super, super excited for his character. Like I said, he's done a good job so far, and it just seems like a really interesting character. It seems like there's a lot of backstory to dig into, and that's kind of what I'm getting from his performance. Like, he is playing this character with such weight and such emotion already, and I really love what I'm seeing from him. I'm so excited to learn more about this character. Another little tidbit, I think it's really cool that they revealed Morgan Elsbeth as a Night Sister. And also have to say, one of the MVPs of these two episodes, and I'm sure it will be of the season, is Kevin Kiner, who is doing the score from this. He did the score in Rebels, and the music in Rebels is absolutely incredible. And the music here is absolutely incredible. It just feels like Star Wars. And I got to say, whenever John Williams does eventually decide to retire from doing the Star Wars scores, I absolutely think that Kevin Kiner should take over and do all of the Star Wars scores. Overall, I will say I really, really enjoyed this premiere. I think it was really smart to go ahead and do the first 2 episodes because I feel like most of my complaint about it, the pacing being a little bit too slow, most of that really comes from the first episode for me. So I think if they just premiered with that 1 episode, then I don't know if I would be quite as positive. But doing the first 2 episodes, it was really, really smart because we are introduced to these characters. We're introduced to where they're at in their journeys right now. And then we're introduced to kind of what's going to push the story forward. And we're ending episode 2 right at the cusp of something big happening. And I think that's exactly what you want. The length of the episodes were really good. The first one was really about an hour. I really hope they keep that up. We'll see. The Mandalorian episodes sometimes are a good length. Most of the time, they're a little bit surprisingly short. But these 2 episodes do a really good job of setting the table for the rest of the series. Not too many big complaints from me other than pacing, maybe a little bit slow. Maybe going forward, they could focus a little bit more on Ahsoka. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed this. The action was well done, and the lightsabers had impact, which I really enjoy. It wasn't like they were just waving around a stick. But I think it's a great start. I'm very happy with the premiere, and I'm super excited to see what the rest of the season has in store for us. But that's it. That's my review of the season premiere of Ahsoka. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of it. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Let me know. I sure hope you did. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. We're getting closer and closer to our 100 subscribers, so it would really mean a lot to me if you would hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on social media, pretty much every social media platform, @CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.